As long as I'm
So we've got the piece of wood here that we made our line on. Now we're going to try to cut it. We're going to try to cut it to it's like an on-purpose size that you want. This is going to be perfectly 5 centimeters large. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put it in a table vise. Whoop, I'm going to throw it on the floor first. Okay, so we're going to put it in a table vise. We're going to open, clamp it closed, and squeeze it. So that's going to keep stuff nice and tight. Some of you guys learned this last time, but if you have the piece of wood really far in, then you can't actually cut it, right? Because you're going to cut the table. If you try to cut here, you're going to cut the table instead, right? And some of you maybe did that last time a little bit already. So we need to make sure that it's out. And actually, we're going to have our line across the top here, and then squeeze it nice and tight. If you have it way out, then when you cut, it's going to wiggle the piece of wood back and forth, right? That's really hard to do. So you're going to try to keep this kind of close in so it doesn't wiggle and have it nice and tight. All right? Now, how to actually cut. So you guys tried this last time. Was it harder than you thought or easier than you thought?
easier.
Easier than you thought? Well, you're in for a surprise. This is harder than you think. So if you just put the saw on here and start cutting like a maniac, there's no way that you're going to be able to cut straight. 0% chance. Okay? So you need to start slow. And I'll tell you why. When you start cutting, the saw, you'll notice it's flexible this way, but it's not flexible really this way, the other way, right? It really can't bend that much. So when you start cutting, the saw is going to cut perfectly down that line that you start. And if you start cutting crooked, it's going to cut perfectly down that crooked line. So if you start straight, then it'll cut straight. If you start crooked, you'll notice later, you'll be like, oh no, it's crooked, and you try to turn it, and it'll make horrible squeaking sounds last time. Squeak, squeak. Okay, that's the saw trying to like bend itself back. It doesn't work. It squeaks. It sounds terrible. So you're going to start just like when you picked up the saw. You're going to hold the saw here in the middle, and you're going to use your other hand to balance the saw. You're going to try to start perfectly on your line, right there. Okay. So how many left-handed people are here besides me? Oh yeah, seriously? Woo! 50%. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm also left-handed. You right-handed people, you're going to do this probably with your other hand, but I can't really give that example because I can't saw straight. But either way, it's the same. You start slowly. Your other hand here is just balancing it, and you start cutting. So the idea is this hand here is trying to keep it from tipping this way or that way. And you want this other hand, you know how like a locomotive, you watch like the steam engines, like the side things just go perfectly straight, right? They don't go all over the place. That's what your arm needs to turn into. Try not to let your elbows wiggle around, your arms wiggle around, but it goes straight, straight. Okay, so you balance it with this hand and you go straight, straight. I'm not actually pushing down at all. I'm just scraping it a little bit. Okay. So see how my elbow's going? Like I'm not wiggling all over the place and not like tipping it this way and that way. Right? You're just going straight, 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 straight. And once you've started, well, do you notice what's happening on the floor underneath this? What's gathering up on the floor underneath?
Dust.
Sawdust. Now you guys know that you have to clean up after this, right? So if you want to make your lives easier, you can bring a trash can over.
But there's no 5 or 6 trash.
There's like 100 trash cans.
Oh.
Okay, so on the other side, okay? So this way, the sawdust will go into the trash can and clean up is a lot easier. Okay, so once you started, and now, even if I started crooked, there's nothing I can do. Now it's started enough, it's gonna just keep cutting straight down. So now, I go for the more high power cutting. So I'm gonna turn my body. Let's see here, okay? So, don't stand off to the side like this. I saw some of you guys doing that last time, wiggling around. Okay? You want your body to be right in the middle. Ooh, you guys can't see from up there. Okay? Right in the middle, coming straight at your own belly button. Okay, right. Okay, every time. Okay, don't stand off to the side like this. Okay, some of the spots in the room is a little bit small, so that's hard. So just don't work there, or find a way to work in a different direction. If you stand off to the side, your arms will go like this the whole time, and it really won't work. So you want to stand in the middle with your legs like right in the middle, and here going straight down. Okay, so you can see I'm going straight forward and straight backward. I'm not doing any weird. My body's not going in any direction. Everything, my motion is very linear. Okay? I'll squeak a little bit. Okay, so how am I doing? You guys can see on the back, right? There's a line on the back and on the front. Without that line on the back and the front, it'd be really hard to see but I'm actually doing pretty well. Like, you know,
Yeah.
pretty much, I'm not bad. Okay? Now, another safety thing. I'm at the end. Right now, I'm sawing. 2 hands. So maybe you start with 1 hand. Then you saw with 2 hands. Oh, let's make that noise. Okay, now right now, if I push down really hard, which I am, what's stopping the saw from flying down? Something's in the way. What's in the way? No. Why isn't the saw going down right now?
Because of the wood.
Because the wood's there,
Yeah.
right? So I'm leaning down really hard and it's not going anywhere. What do you think would happen if that wood suddenly vanished?
Oh, you go down and then you do this guy.
Should we find out?
Oh my God, there.
Whoa, my poor saw. Okay, so that was to illustrate a point. When you get to the end of your cut, you have to slow down and catch that piece of wood. If you don't, when you're finished cutting, the saw can fly down. Now, I knew what I was doing, but I have had students who have flung the saw down and hit themselves in their own legs. With shorts, yes, shorts are, I think one girl had a skirt on and she just whacked herself in the leg. She got the same explanation that you guys are getting, but was rushing. So she didn't follow my instructions.
Don't
Where my
rush.
piece of wood go. Okay, so when you get to the end, slow down. Now, how did I do? Did I cut it square? Did I cut it straight?
Yeah.
It's kind of zing.
Are you guys robots? How do you know if I cut it straight or not? Can you tell? Can you tell
straight.
computer people?
Nope.
No, what do you need to know? How can you tell if this is
It
square?
was kind of.
Get a square and check.
Yay.
Well, not bad, not bad. Okay, so if you come to me and you say, Mr. Potter, is this square? Mr. Potter, is this square? I'm not a robot. I don't know. I can't tell just by looking at it, right? You can get a square, and you get to match it up and say, like, oh, I did pretty well. But here, look, computer people, can you see it's a little, let's see, a little bit of a space there. Okay, so is that perfectly square?
No.
Not quite, but it's pretty close, right? So I can see you guys through it. A little bit of light, but it's not bad, right? Okay, so if you wanted to keep that piece, then you would get a pencil and you'd write your name on it. And you say, this piece belongs to Mr. Potter, and you save it forever and ever. Christmas is coming, you can give it to your mom as a Christmas present. I don't know. Okay, so again, when you're sawing, so I'm going to show you again, Kate. You start slow. I don't have any lines, but you start slow. Your one hand balances the other hand. Okay, one hand just going really slowly.
That sounds sensual.
Okay, I'm not pushing down at all. It's just the saw is doing this itself. Okay. Once it's started, then I can go to 2 hands with more power.
Oh my God, that is very fast.
Okay, and then when I get to the end, what do?
Slow down.
Slow down and catch it. Okay, so your hand goes back to the middle, holds the other piece, and goes very slow, just like at the start. That way your piece doesn't get lost in the trash can. Okay, so I should never hear the sound of the piece of wood hitting the ground.
That's pretty
Because
straight.
you caught it. Is it? Let's see how straight it is. It looks pretty straight. How did I do? Terrible. But it looked all right. That's why you gotta check with a square.
Shoot.
Okay, so you can see here, computer people. Okay, so it's not so square. Okay, so this goes in the trash. Now, if this was you guys, you would. This is not square. The end is not square anymore, right? So if you cut again from this piece, you're gonna have one end that's not square. For now, that's okay. Just measure again and start over. Measure, and then cut and see if you can get a couple of pieces that are square.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on that.
Okay.